today's show, we discuss, are these urban legends actually true?
And now, the TNT Talk Show, daring to go where other podcasts fear to tread.
Hello, I'm Tony Fasulo, and I share the stage with my esteemed friend and colleague, Tayo Boya. Tayo, hello, my friend, once again. I hope you keep it safe and well.
Yeah, what the hell, right? What are you gonna do, Tony? Hello, audience. Thank you for joining. Right. So I
Yay!
can't actually do that just now, which is annoying. I would like to say hello to somebody from the city who has joined us recently, but the data isn't up, unfortunately.
Oh,
So hello to everyone. Just
oh,
hello,
general.
welcome. How
Oh,
you doing?
okay,
How you doing?
okay. Because
Now,
we do
uh,
get weird listeners all over the world, don't we? It's
fantastic.
amazing.
Yes,
Amazing.
absolutely.
Very good.
Now, here we go. Where is this thing here? All right, here we are. So, facts, which I like to. Today's, this week's factoid is a rather. Uh, ooh. All right, so
That was a
if you
great face you just pulled.
if you're squeamish,
For our benefit of our audio listeners, they just didn't see Tayo's face as he's reading this factoid. He's like, wow, what is it?
oof, this one is rough. The
Okay.
the
Should we warn our audience to sort of plug their ears or,
well, get ready. I mean, it's kind of it's tough.
oh, I'm not going to like it either, I bet.
It's not something you like or dislike. It's just a fact that you just go, ooh, I didn't know that.
Oh, I see. Okay.
The original chainsaw was invented in the 18th century specifically for a symphysiotomy. A symphysiotomy
Go
is a
on.
medical procedure.
Uh-oh.
It was developed by two Scottish doctors, John Aitken and James Jeffrey, to make symphysiotomy safer and faster. You're probably wondering, what the heck is a symphysiotomy? Symphysiotomy is a surgical procedure to widen the mother's pelvis during a difficult delivery by cutting through the cartilage and ligaments of the pubic symphysis. This was a
That was an
particularly,
audible groan on my
I
part
heard,
when you were reading that
this was
out.
a particularly gruesome and risky procedure, often performed without anesthesia. And
What?
the chainsaw was invented to make it quicker and safer.
Oh, my Lord. That is horrendous. Oh, and that's a genuine, definite fact.
It is, and
Oh,
here's the link for you to share with our.
I'm not sure our audience want to see it, but
Well,
okay, fair play. If it's a
some
fact, it's a
poor
fact.
women went through that. Was that or die or something? So it can't have been pleasant. He
Oh,
must have smarted a bit, and I'll tell you that.
indeed, indeed. Not very
Anyway, no.
good. Not very good. Right. Whilst I clean my grubby glasses, I cannot even see the text I'm supposed to read out. So I can't even remember. Here we go. Right. My glasses are back. Right. The title of today's show. It is, Are These Urban Legends True? So we're going to go through a number of urban legends and discuss what you think of them, first off, and whether they're true or not. So, Taya, do you want to kick kick this off? Because it's your topic. You picked this topic. What
Yes,
actually, why did you pick it anyway?
because at the time I thought it'd be fun, but actually having dug into it a bit, it turns out to be not so much as not fun, but none of the really good ones. Okay, for example, all right, for example, there's an urban legend. I think I'm pretty sure I've spoken about this before. One of the urban legends in popular in Nigeria is about the cloven-footed cab passenger, taxi cab passenger. It's or hitchhiker, whatever. Okay, so but
Okay.
yeah, it's famous amongst taxi drivers and people who pick up hitchhikers. They pick up a stranger, usually actually a man, a
Okay.
handsome man, about 20s or 30s, something like that.
Okay.
And you're driving to where he's going, and everything is fine. Nothing strange. It's good conversation, good chat. If he's in a taxi cab, then getting paid might be a problem because he doesn't pay. So
Ah,
he'll get out, and the reason the taxi cab driver doesn't make a fuss of it is that when he looks at the man, when he can see him properly, top to bottom, he has cloven hoofs for feet.
right.
If it's a hitchhiker, when you drop him off, he says thank you, and then as he's walking away, he's got cloven hooves. He doesn't have proper feet,
Is it
and
just his feet or his whole legs are resembling a horse?
no, it's the where the feet are supposed to be.
Right.
Those are just hooves.
Is this he wearing some weird footwear that make it look that way? Or I mean, you say this is an urban legend in
Mm-hmm.
Nigeria.
Mm-hmm.
Is it a common one amongst a
Yeah.
lot of people? And have a lot of people witnessed this?
Well, supposedly. I mean, it's always as an urban legend. Somebody heard from somebody who heard somebody who. You never speak to the primary person who was, yeah, it happened to me.
No.
But he's always, oh yeah, no. My cousin swore that his friend, for everybody, it's just that's a proper urban legend. So the reason I was like about this show was initially I thought, oh yeah, this would be good. But the true urban legends are exactly that legends. They're unprovable. That's the flaw. That's the
This
flaw.
argument,
That if
yeah.
it's a totally honest legend, you'll never prove it.
Hmm.
Like this, but I mean, what makes it interesting is the popularity of it. The fact that you can speak to almost any Nigerian and he or she will know of this story. So
Interesting.
where did it start? And it's not something. It's not. I know films quite a lot about films and things like that and books. It doesn't track back to a film that somebody saw when they were young and then it's grown from there. Do you understand? And it's
Yeah.
nothing. It's nothing that is. It's not scary in the sense that he's going to do something. Oh, it's the devil. Or, no. It's just everything's fine. It's just that it happens to have cloven
Clove
hooves.
feet. Could it be? I mean, okay. The same chap being picked up, so it
We
happened
can't
over a
can't
period of
tell. You
time. We
can't tell.
can't
But
tell.
it's
Could he have had a deformity which made it look
this
cloven
is going on for
feet?
donkeys here. So I mean, if it's still, how can it still be that age and
Oh,
everything?
I see. So it's actually been going on for a while. It's not over a certain, just about 3 or 4 year period and then it
No, no,
disappeared.
no, 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 no.
Because then you
No.
could have attributed that to perhaps a deformity or something like that that this guy
They might have
happened to
started off
have.
with that. Maybe you've actually put your. I was going to say put your foot. Maybe you actually put your thumb on the thing. But maybe that's what happened. Maybe the original story is someone with a deformed feet got out of the cab and the cab driver saw that, or the guy that's giving him a lift saw the
Yeah.
feet, and because this has happened at night, obviously it never happens during the day,
During
by
the
the way.
day. Why is that?
Well, I have no
Paranoia?
idea.
Pareidolia? Is it? Because people see things at night or
I don't
we're
think
on
people
high
would actually
alert.
see clove. I mean, if he's got club feet or something like that, then perhaps. And then in telling the story grows. So I think he may actually, strangely enough, he might have solved it. It happened. Let's say, I think it would have happened in the 50s or 60s originally,
Right.
from my sort of understanding. The original incident, the first incident. I mean, we didn't have that many cabs and things before then. Anyway, I mean, how many people had
Yeah.
cars back in the? Do you know when I was a young man? Well, I wasn't a man. When I was a young boy in Zaria, I knew the make of every car that we saw. And for the first 2 or 3 years, because we moved to Zaria when I was 5 years old,
Okay.
for the first three years, maybe until about 19, well, for the first 3 years, I knew who who the owner of the car was. Not only did I
Oh,
know the
wow.
make, I could recognize the individual cars because there were so few.
Right. Wow, wow,
So I
wow.
actually knew. Look, Mr. Blah blah blah. Oh look, Professor blah blah blah. I knew them all.
Wow. A question, only a side question, as you mentioned Zaria in Nigeria again. I've often wanted to ask you this. What's the climate like there?
Semi, semi-arid. Semi is not arid, but it isn't rainforest at all. So it's semi-arid. Beginning wasn't. I won't call it savanna either. So the the tree density is low. It's about 300. I don't think it's 300 now. It used to be maybe 300 kilometers from the desert. It's probably closer to 200 now or something. And
So
it,
the weather's hot all year round, pretty much.
well, not all year round. It's hot until the harmattan, which
What
is
is
when the dusty winds coming from, I think they're coming from India, somewhere like that. They're coming across the subcontinent, and then they're coming across the Arab Peninsula, well, Arabia basically, and then down from about Egypt, now from North Africa, Egypt sort of thing, down towards the coast, and even heading in towards Central Africa. And it brings a lot. When it crosses the desert, it brings the well,
the
actually, when it
dust?
crosses the desert, even from Saudi Arabia, it starts picking up, and Yemen starts picking up dust from there. Then there's even more coming across the Sahara. So it's extremely dusty. There's this kind of dusty haze that it brings with it, which I used to love when I was a child, by the way, because it was very Christmassy.
Really?
Yeah, because we'd be singing Christmas carols and it'd be cold and there would be this kind of like mist, but it wasn't mist, it was dust, haze hanging in the air. And then, you'd have these glowing lights, people's lights would be glowing because of the haze. And it looked very, very Christmassy. And I always loved the Hamatan. And then I get presents and stuff. That really meant something. Not not soap, which is like, what are you trying to tell me? What the hell is this? Or perfume.
Is that?
Are you trying to say something here, bruv?
Sorry, I segued away from that. It just curiosity got the better of me. But yeah, the thing is, you've just hit something on the head actually, because you said the haze in Zaria, very Christmassy. I mean, the temperature would drop, I assume, when
About
that was
14,
happening. Oh,
14,
okay, that's
sometimes as low
interesting.
as 12, which for us
Okay,
is really, I
really
mean,
cold.
people are walking around and they're shivering and they're talking, and makes me, I suppose people like me who've been overseas, makes us laugh because they'll be like, oh, I'm going to die. You're not gonna die, man. It's fine. Uh,
14 degrees. It's like,
14
wow.
degrees, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh God, no, no, can't. But
But
in Jos, which
yeah,
isn't about 200 miles or kilometers but up in the hills, up a bit, up the
yeah.
elevation is in Jos, another famous place. I think Her Majesty visited Jos. The year Her Majesty visited what was then colonial Nigeria. Nigeria was under her rule at the time. I think it was when she just become queen, 1953, something like that.
Okay.
She visited. That year, snow fell in Jos.
Wow.
My dad told me about it, and it was in his lifetime was within living memory. And
Wow.
more recently, about 3, 4 years ago, something like that, there was frost on the ground in Jos, and people taking pictures and sharing them because obviously this
They
is
don't see
something.
that otherwise. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, it was
You see
frost on
this,
the ground.
but this is how legends are born. You said about the misty haze and
Mm.
the lights and everything. It's Chinese whispers, isn't it? People see something and a story gets repeated and it
Mm.
extends, and that's how we get it. And I mean, there's one I wanted to touch on. I mean, obviously not to do with Africa, but which was I don't know if you've heard of the Green Man of Pennsylvania.
Oh, Pennsylvania. Oh yeah, well I have heard of him, but he wasn't. You see, is that a legend though? This is my
Well,
problem.
it is a legend because people were talking about this glowing green man,
Hmm.
and he would walk the roads at night, and yeah, everyone was quite concerned. Who is this guy?
You're concerned.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just a bit. Who is this glowing green man? And he he used to only walk out at night, and the reason, which seems to be, is it's based on truth, in fact, and it's a guy actually called Raymond Robinson.
Hmm.
So people would say he was green, obviously keep away from him. Kids told stories, oh, oh, be aware from the green man, he'll eat you up. The story then generates its own what's the word I'm looking for? Its own escalation, and it can have all sorts of things. But he was a real man, Raymond Robinson, who was disfigured in a childhood accident, electrical accident.
Hmm.
And to
Shocking,
avoid,
by the way.
yeah.
Perfectly shocking. Sorry.
Oh dear, sorry, Raymond. But to avoid frightening people with his appearance, he would just walk out at night, so they wouldn't be scared. But the green bit, I don't think he was green really. That was probably added as part of the legend, but he was disfigured for sure because he was also referred to as Charlie No Face.
Mm.
That's another one of his nicknames. So yeah, he clearly had an issue, but he liked to walk, and so he would do it at night. And people exaggerated the story. Oh, look, he's green, he's a monster, he's horrible. But apparently, he was actually a really nice guy,
Mm.
really friendly to anyone that spoke to him. But he would obviously keep his chatting to people at a minimum because he didn't want to put people off. But those that chose to speak to him discovered that he was actually a very pleasant person. But as you say, you know, things like that happen from based on a little bit of truth, and then the legend appears, and people do tell stories over the fireplace to extend it, make it sound better. It's the old fish story, isn't it? You catch a
The one that
fish.
got away.
Well,
Hooray.
yeah, the one that got away. Oh, was that? Oh my goodness me, it's huge. Well, it was only a tiddly thing, but you're going to over exaggerate it. Who's gonna disprove you? And that's the story.
Well, the thing about old Raymond there is that it's quite a well-established story. That's why I didn't really think of it as an urban legend. And I think he died back in the 80s, I believe, if I remember properly. He was quite a known character, and people used to drive out because he did sort of glow, actually. That's the thing. He had a green face and kind of glowed in the night. I don't know
I
where
don't
that
think
comes
it was
from in
green. It wasn't green. I
electricity.
think.
Why would that? Why would a childhood electrocution make you glow? So I've always like I can't that bit of it I didn't understand. But people used to go apparently driving around, and they would leave him cigarettes and beer.
Oh, I didn't
Yeah.
know that bit.
So yeah, they would. So he was a known character, and he only, like you said, he only walked around like that so as not to
Frightened children because they
not to
should be in
frighten. Yeah.
bed. Yeah,
Yeah. Well,
basically.
so poor guy. It must
Yeah.
have been. It must have been a nice guy to have thought of other people, even and which must have lived a lonely life. I'd have thought.
Sad in a
Gotcha.
way.
Yeah, yeah,
It's a
absolutely.
shame too.
So I've then another one, which is okay. So this is a movie plot. A guy hijacks a plane. He ransoms $250,000, and he's paid. He's paid the money because the authorities think, where's he gonna go? We're going. The plane's gonna land at some point. We're gonna nab him. But he's also a parachute, and he at some point during the flight to wherever the heck he asked them to take him, he opens the door, he jumps out.
But he hasn't had the money.
Oh no, he jumped out with the money. They paid him.
How? Well, while he was in the plane.
Whilst was in the plane, they brought the
Oh,
money up,
before
and
he
then
took off, you
yeah,
mean? Oh,
before
okay.
the because he was holding everybody around. He hijacked the aircraft. I don't know the details. Maybe he let some people off in exchange.
Right.
So off they went. They were flying to wherever they were flying to. At some point, he opened the door and he jumped out into the night. and
Wow.
he vanished. And that's an urban legend. It sounds like a movie plot, doesn't it?
It does.
No,
Is
it's
it?
not a movie plot.
It's a real story.
His name was D.B. Cooper.
So they
Now,
found him.
whether his name was D.B. Cooper or not in real life, that's how he addressed himself. He called himself
Okay.
D.B. Cooper. A hijacked Northwest Orient Flight 305 on the 24th of November 1971.
Okay.
The FBI spent decades trying to find him because they never found him or the cash. Now, as I remember, I think we know who he is,
Oh,
but I don't think we're ever able to prove it.
okay.
And I didn't have a chance to confirm. I'll do it as we're going through the show now. Because hey, this is TNT Talk Show. Man, we fly by the seat of our pants, man. I'll try to find. I watched a video. This is the thing about watching videos. You get the information, but later on you can't recall where you saw it, and it's very hard to say, oh yeah, this is what happened because all that information it's easy to take in, but
Yeah.
hard to retain
Yeah.
unfortunately. So you end up knowing that, yeah, I remember there was this video by this guy and he's the DB Cooper and everything. But I think some of the notes were marked and all that. Those never surfaced.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, so what happened to him?
What
But
year was this, by the way?
1971.
Okay.
The actual date is the 24th of November,
1971.
1971.
So obviously the incident happened,
There's
definitely happened.
no ifs,
So it's
whens,
not
buts.
really an urban legend. It's actually a true one. It's how,
That's
yeah, that's the thing. Yeah.
this is what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
It's also known as Dan Cooper,
Okay.
unidentified man. This is the. Do you want the Wikipedia? Well,
Yeah, let's share that with our audience.
there we
Absolutely.
go.
Let's put that in as well.
There we are.
Okay.
And there's an image of what it looked like.
Let me tell you a story. Now,
Oh,
what do
I'm
you
so
think?
sorry. I'm so
Go
sorry.
on. You got more info.
Yeah, just now. In 1980, a boy found a decaying package containing about $6,000 in $20 bill, what they call bills, $20 notes,
Yep.
along the Columbia River near Vancouver, Washington. And the serial numbers match those of the ransom money,
Ah,
providing a significant but inconclusive lead. So it didn't make it out of all the money, apparently.
okay.
Amazing story. Anyway, there we
Interesting.
go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The thing is, with that one, that's interesting because if you track the actual notes, then
He never got to spend it, I suppose.
no, no, but he could have spent it. Of course he could, because he wouldn't have to spend huge amounts. He would just live, and he could spend it, and people would do business with him, and the money just then circulate again. Eventually, they may pop up, but obviously the technology back then wasn't as sophisticated as it is now. So if they're looking for a particular serial number on a particular note, when it's scanned, if it because you can scan it now as well as put in tills that would then identify where it was last used. Whereas back then, you would never know, surely.
You are incorrect. The FBI speculates that Cooper likely did not survive his jump due to the extreme weather conditions that prevailed at the time and the lack of proper skydiving equipment, the rugged and heavy wooded terrain, and the disappearance of the remaining money, which suggested it was never spent. That's in the Wikipedia article
Oh, I
I sent you.
see, I see. So he didn't actually make. So his plan, he was thinking on the fly to jump out, and then jumped out on a particularly bad day for weather, and he hadn't actually thought it through. That's interesting.
Hadn't thought it through.
Hadn't
That's
thought it
that's
through.
not what you need when you're going to hijack a plane. You've got to think it through, pal.
Oh
Yeah,
dear.
not a good idea.
Right, I'm going to talk
But
about
yes,
I'm going to make a
go on.
story and see what you think of this. I don't know if you've heard this before. I may have said it on a previous show, but many, many, many years ago now it would seem, because we've been going for it. It feels like 100 years here, but yeah, there was my yeah. This is how legends are formed, and well, not legends are formed, but my grandfather
Hmm.
did not know about this. He was a young man, recently married to his wife, my grandmother, and she was expecting their first child. So he was barely early 20s. She
Mm.
was a teenager, but a late teenager, and their first child. Because back then they obviously married a lot younger.
Yeah. And stayed together.
And oh, yes, they together. But anyway, he had to get some medicine for my grandmother from the next village. And this is in Italy.
Oh, you've told us this story before.
Have I told you the story? Well, I'll
No,
say for the
us. You've told
benefit.
the audience.
Have I
Me and the
told the
audience.
audience? Well, it
Yeah.
may have been on a past story, but
We were talking about ghosts and things.
yeah, yes, that was a while ago. But to cut a long story short, he had to go to the next village to pick up some medicine, and it was getting dusky, and all he had was his bike. And
Mm.
he went around, he was going to the next village, which was slightly uphill, and he's going around the corner and he hears a chink, chink, chink noise, thinking it's his chain of his bike. And he thought, "Oh, that's weird. It's riding okay. What's that noise?" Didn't think anything of it, carried on going on his journey, got the medicine, was coming back. And as he was coming round that same spot, he heard the chink, chink, chink noise again. So he thought, "What's wrong? This is weird. It's happening in the same spot." So he stopped his bike and he's listening and trying to listen. And all of a sudden, the bike is totally stationary and he hears that chink, chink, chink noise again. And he's like, and he gets back on his bike, freaking out, and drove really, really fast back to his wife, my grandmother. And the story developed. He subsequently discovered that on that corner area there, a young man riding a bike was killed by horses and, horses in a cart as he come round the corner. So the urban legend is like a ghost story of this young man in that area. So you've got to be careful when you go around that area because you'll hear the chain of the bike because he was fixing his chain when the horse and cart came round the corner, didn't see him, and he got killed. So the story is that the legend of the young cyclist who died on that corner. So
Mm.
it does dovetail in the ghost story, but as well as a legend, because subsequently my grandfather discovered that loads of people knew that legend, which was based on some truth. But did he die by fixing his chain? We don't know the details because again, it was only passed on. Did he get knocked over by a horse and cart? Possibly. Again, this is how legends are formed, and we don't know the exact details of the story, but I think there's some truth in it. But what the chinking sound was, that's up for debate.
Yeah, amazing. And why? Why there? Why at that point? If you hadn't heard it, was it a repressed memory? It was late at night and or whatever.
He hadn't heard
And
of it. It's only when he mentioned it to
well,
other
it's repressed
people.
memory. Oh, I see.
Yeah, it
The
wasn't
other people then
his
said,
memory.
"Oh, it wasn't
It
his
was
memory."
other people in the village. He subsequently told the story. What happened to him, like really crazy. I was on my bike, and they're like, "What? Didn't you know? Didn't know what? Oh, the story, the legend of the guy the ghost up there, of a man who got knocked over, got killed while changing the chain on his bike."
Interesting.
Really? Yeah.
Hmm.
So there you go. It couldn't have been that long. I mean, how long have bikes been around? 200 years? 150 years? Don't
Well,
know,
the penny
because
farthing was
it
the
didn't have a chain, did it?
1800s, wasn't
It
it?
didn't have a chain, no, did it?
I'm just trying to think. Okay, I'll look it up in a second because that's an
Yeah.
interesting question.
Hmm.
These things tend to go back further, longer. What is the word I'm looking? These things tend to have started out earlier than you think.
Hmm.
You sort of think, oh, bicycles, what, 1920 or something?
Hmm.
No, 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 no. What's way,
Way
before
before.
that? I think even the telephone was 1870 something, wasn't it?
Oh, wow.
So
Yeah,
that's
so
the
it is a
yeah,
long time.
yeah.
So yeah, it
So
could have been, bicycles. Yeah, because he was knocked over by a horse and cart. So
yep.
that's certainly feasible.
Given our so far eerie urban legends, I would like to say hello because I've looked it up now to it looks like a couple of listeners in Enfield, in Enfield,
Enfield.
in the
London.
UK. Yeah.
Where's Enfield? In London, isn't it?
Well, yeah.
Or
Enfield
is
is its
it?
own borough, so isn't it?
Oh, okay. Enfield. It's just Enfield.
Enfield.
Okay.
Enfield, Enfield. Enfield is a town.
Oh, okay.
The town of Enfield in Enfield.
Where is it roughly in the sky? I don't know where it is in south
Southish.
somewhere. Okay. I take
Enfield.
your word for it. I've heard of
Enfield,
Enfield.
London.
Oh,
Enfield,
okay.
London. Okay.
Right. Okay.
Enfield, London Borough Council.
Right.
Okay. And did that name not strike fear into you?
Enfield.
Enfield.
No.
Surely that doesn't give you goosebumps. Gives me. I'm just saying it. I got goosebumps.
No, not me.
Have you never heard of the poltergeist activity in Enfield?
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. So
This is
we've got a visit.
Enfield.
We've got a
Come on, you've
listener
got to
or
tell the
listeners.
audience what you're talking about because some will not be of hearing this and for the first time what happened in Enfield.
Oh well, it's rather more than it's not. I wouldn't call it an urban legend because the investigations and things. There was a claim on the 20 made started from around the 20th. Hang on, no, I'm talking nonsense here. The Enfield poltergeist was a claim of supernatural activity at 284 Green Street. Now, if our listeners live at 284 Green Street, that would be absolutely blooming
Please get in
wonderful.
touch if you live in or and around that area and let us know whether that building is still there and still used. Does someone live in there? Do you live in there? Please tell us.
And hopefully, we're able to give you an email address, which we're going to be able to share with you shortly.
Okay.
We're just trying to sort it out. Anyway, so this was between 1977 and 1979. And the poltergeist activity was centered on sisters Janet, aged 11, and Margaret Hodgson, aged 13. So objects were moving around, things were getting smacked around. I think there were a couple of pictures where the girls seemed to be floating. Now, I'm not convinced by the pictures at all. They looked like they were jumping, to be honest, but I wasn't there, so what do I know? And it was the claims were investigated by the Committee for the Scientific Investigation of Claims of the Paranormal, which is a bit of a mouthful, including stage magicians and Milbourne Christopher and Joe Nickel, who were criticized for being too credulous as paranormal investigators. But their thing was that, because of their expertise as stage magic, if it had been trickery, they should have been able to figure it out. Like those
Yeah.
two people,
Debunkers, aren't they? Yeah.
what Fool Us. Remember the show? There's a show called Fool Us, isn't it? There's two famous magicians in Las
Yeah.
Vegas the magicians come on and try to fool them,
Yeah.
and they try to figure out how it's done. So they were bringing this expertise of theirs to this case, and they felt that they were looking at genuine
Poltergeist activity.
poltergeist
wasn't it?
activities. Yeah.
So that was
there we
weird.
go. Yeah.
Okay.
So hello to them at Enfield.
Enfield.
Drop us a line.
Listeners, yes, indeed, indeed.
Aha. Now it's my turn, isn't it? That wasn't my thing, by the way. I was just
Oh,
saying hello
okay. Go
to.
on, then you can do it.
Okay, so the midnight coffee incident
Okay.
in the final training phase of an AI called Claude, which I believe belongs to who's Claude? It's its own thing, isn't it? It's its own
Claude is
company.
another AI company. Yeah.
It's an AI company, French, I believe. So during Claude's final training phase in late 2024, Anthropic, that's the name. Anthropic is the name of
Anthropic
the.
is Claude.
Yes.
That's not French, though, is it?
Well, I
Is
think
it
it's.
Anthropic?
Yeah, I think it
Maybe.
is.
Okay.
An an engineer, accidentally spilled an entire pot of coffee onto the primary server rack at 3:47 a.m. Rather than shutting down the system, the team discovered that the brief electrical interference caused Claude to develop what is up to now an inexplicable fondness. Well, I don't know about fondness, that's going too far. Well, an inexplicable tendency for discussing obscure 18th century poetry. And further, an ability to detect sarcasm with an increased accuracy by 23%.
Just because of the spillage of the coffee. That,
Well,
sorry,
it seems to go side by side with the thing.
I'm not convinced by that whatsoever from a
The coffee routine
IT
subroutines,
background.
as they became known internally, were deemed too valuable to remove, but there's never been an explanation, and the only outcome of it is that Anthropic's London office does. Uh, so it must have happened in London. The Anthropic's London office bans coffee
Yeah, they only
in.
allow tea now.
I don't think they're allowed tea at all. I don't think they're allowed to take anything into the server. Why would you take a
I
liquid?
know, exactly. To me, that is an urban myth and based on nonsense. That's somebody trying to start that up. I mean, let's put it this way, coffee is not a good friend to IT equipment, not in the slightest. I have
No.
been and seen many destroyed keyboards for a start with coffee in them. They're not
Mm.
salvageable. And laptops, even completely destroyed with coffee. There's no way it's going to change its function and make it behave a different way. And all of a sudden, get it into its, an insightful phase. All coffee would do was destroy it. So that is garbage. I'm sorry.
In the late 90s and early noughties, I was known in Zaria as the IT guy, and I got a message from an Asian gentleman. Ended up marrying a German woman, and they went off to India. I wonder what happened to them as a couple. Anyway, I got a message from this chap saying it was very urgent. Could I please come and see him? So, I went across. Yeah, how can I help? And he said, I can't quite get my laptop to work. I was like, well, what happened? So, well, it was a bit dirty. So I washed it. I was like, well, okay, what do you mean you washed it? So, well, Omo, which is a detergent, famous detergent in Nigeria, Omo, soapy water, and in a bucket. I was like, dude, I don't, I don't know what to say, man. So you put your laptop into a bucket of, yeah, yeah. So can you fix it? It's like, yeah, I'm not going to try, man. And I left. This is a true story, by the way. He actually washed his blooming laptop. And by the way, this is what you remember how expensive they were in those days?
Oh,
They were
ridiculous.
mind-bogglingly
Yeah,
expensive.
it were, definitely.
But it's just and it was only it wasn't it's just a bit dusty or whatever. It was dirty. He's
He
gonna wash it.
washed it.
And then it was wondering why it wouldn't start up again. I was like, yeah, yeah, okay, fair enough.
Yeah, water and liquid in
And
general
electric
doesn't work with electronics in any way, shape, or
was
form.
it on at the time? I should have asked you. Maybe you should have tried it when it was on. Plug it in.
Oh, dear,
Anyway,
would have been here no more if he did it when it
wow.
was on. He could have killed
That
himself. I
that
mean, that's
level of
just
ignorance is just
nonsense.
it's
Well, if you don't
if you
know, you
don't know,
don't
you don't
know.
know.
You don't know. Indeed.
Hey,
Yeah,
hey!
yeah, yeah, yeah.
If you don't know, you don't know.
You don't know. There you
All
go.
right, your turn.
Right, I've got one that I think you've heard of this one as well. The Green Children of Woolpit. I
Oh,
was
that's true though.
fascinated
That's
by
not
this.
really an urban legend, is it?
Well. I mean, let me explain it. Let me explain it for the benefit of our listeners. The Green Children of Woolpit. Woolpit is a small village in England, and this was in the 12th century, so obviously a long time ago. And how legends are spawned, as I've already alluded to. But allegedly, this is what happened. Two children appeared in the village, and they had green skin, and they spoke a language that no one could understand. No one. It was a weird language. And they refused to eat their food. They only ate raw beans. And unfortunately, there was a boy and a girl. The little boy got sick and he died.
Hmm.
The girl, however, they fed her. Eventually, she ate more food and she got better. She got the greenness tinge disappeared, and over time, she integrated with the families that were there and even grew up, learned English, obviously Old English, and was able to recount her story. And that's how it was told. And what she said to the people that she was with, she came from a place called St. Martin's Land, which is constantly dusk. So sort of dusky,
Mm.
and everyone in the village is green. Now, this to me, this is the story. So, who were these children? Where is St. Martin's Land? What is this? Is this true? Is this an exaggerated story? Well, the green tinge skin is something that can't be corroborated. It's a bit like the story that we spoke of earlier about Raymond
Mm.
saying he had green skin. He just had electrocution problem that deformed him, and then subsequently people said his skin was green. The story plays better if you add something unusual. And the
Mhm.
same here, I believe that the children were green. I don't think that was part of the original story. Maybe they were discovered and spoke a language that no one understood because, strangely, there was a Flemish group that had come into England because they were fighting the English back then. So they could have been in a forest nearby, which was dark. So the kids were describing why it's dark a lot because they were there to hide. So they obviously spoke Flemish, which is a language that no one here would ever understand because it's a very unusual language. So there's ways of explaining this story. And if there was anything about green skin, it could have been chlorosis, possibly, which is a form of anemia, which perhaps could have happened if they were hiding for long periods in the woods. They're not getting sunlight. They could become anemic, and then there could be this green sickness, chlor chlorosis,
Fluorosis.
which yeah, which is this tinge of the face. It's not really green, it's a sort of a yellowy green, probably like the lights affecting my face for those of you blessed to watch this on a video. Um,
Ah,
so it's a similar sort of tinged color, I suspect. So
well,
whether they were green
you
is
say
another
so.
matter.
I believe what I heard of it, and I've just confirmed my memory of it. Not, I'm confirming what it was. How would I know? This happened in the 12th century, and this is after the Battle of Fornham in 1173,
Yep.
where Flemish mercenaries were defeated and killed. And in those days, armies used amazing, by the way. Armies used to move around with families of the soldiers. They used to go with them, uh, and these
Because they'd be
people,
away for years at a time.
yeah,
They wouldn't be
exactly. So you
too
exactly
long
moved
distance.
with
Yeah.
your family. And
Yeah.
they were in the oh, there's a lovely word for it. I believe it's French, and it means the camp behind. And it's
Okay.
came into English. And I've forgotten the details. The word we use in English came from this word meaning the camp behind, where the food is and the women and all that sort of thing. Anyway, so this was in 1173. It is supposed that these children, because essentially the adults had been killed and they had run off into the forest and got lost, they were suffering from the hy- hypochromic anemia, which is called green sickness, a condition caused by prolonged malnutrition. And that green tinge disappeared after they had been eating normally for a while. But as you said, the little boy unfortunately passed away.
Which was very common back then.
The girl, however, went on to live a normal life. She got married and had
Yeah.
kids of her own and everything. So
Yeah.
that's not so much an urban legend. It's just a story from
Well, a
the
story, but the fact that they were green, and
yes,
I'm still,
and
that's the legend part,
came from
whether they
nowhere
were or
and couldn't
not.
speak
Yeah,
English. So it would have been for the people that first met them. Would have been quite peculiar. Yes.
absolutely. Okay.
Okay, I've got these ones because there's more than one,
Okay.
and they're pretty. Eek.
Oh,
Yes, yes.
go on.
These are what you might want to call the body under the bed stories.
Ah, yeah. This, this is,
Hotels in Las
yeah.
Vegas and Florida between the 1980s and the 1990s. the urban legend is that guests would take a motel room and complain of a foul smell, and when it was investigated further, discover that there was a dead body stuffed into the mattress, under the bed, in a box under the bed, but something to do with a body under the bed. Between
That's the
nine,
mattress. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I've heard that one, and obviously that's not just a legend; it's actually true where
there are
people
these
are.
stories are true,
Yeah.
and the most amazing. I mean, these are
There was one found about, I know which one you mean here. There was one that's actually in 2013 in Los Angeles. Do you know about this one? The body of Elisa Lam.
mm,
I mean, similar to the same thing. The guests were complaining that
mm.
there was a strange taste and smell in the
Oh,
drinking water.
oh, that's the well. It's more than that's a peculiar one because we've got video of her being scared by something that the camera never sees. That's the one, and she ended up in
It's
the water
water
reservoir.
tank
What,
in the
what's
top of
that
the
on the
hotel
roof?
roof. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Haven't you seen the video?
I don't think I've seen the video of that. No.
Oh my goodness,
If you've got
she's
it,
frightened. Well,
yeah.
God knows how to find it, but she's obviously frightened. She runs. She looks frightened. She's in the what do you call this? In the lift. She looks around the lift, as you do. Like if someone is chasing you, and then she's moves to the back of the lift, and then the doors close. So whoever was chasing her didn't catch her, but we never saw her again. And the next thing we found is her body in the water tank reservoir, reservoir with no explanation as to who was chasing her. The other videos in the hotel didn't show anybody running after anybody else. It was completely and totally. It's actually, I know why I know about this case because I believe we discussed it in the 411 cases.
Ah, I do
It was
remember it
it was a
vaguely.
4-1. It was a 411 case because there's just no explanation. It's like what was she frightened of? She was only in town for like 2 or 3 days. Didn't have time to make any enemies. No one was chasing her because she ran into the
Nothing was
hotel.
visible, yeah.
Nothing was visible. She was just maybe just who knows.
Just for the
And
benefit of
I
our,
wonder if she went to hide in the tank
maybe.
because unfortunately, well, it's a
You
sad
you
story.
you may need to describe what 411 means because there'll be a lot of our listeners, and if we keep constantly getting new listeners listening around the world, so they don't know what 411 is and what do we talk about. Do you want to
Okay,
explain what 411 is?
411 is a government code, I believe, or maybe it's a police code in the United States of America, and or a phone code. So it's one of those codes. Can't remember what. I can look it up. And it means no further information. So when a police officer is talking to his base or something, he will say 411. He's told the base what he knows. He got no further information. So when somebody goes missing and it's a 411 case, it's it's a case which is inexplicable because there's no further information. There's no. This is a fantastic example of it. In fact, we even got video here. We don't know who's chasing her. We don't know if she is even being chased. We don't know how she ended up on the roof of the hotel. We don't know how she ended up in that water tank. We just don't know anything, and there's no further information. It's unfortunately it's a 411 case, and that's all there is to it. It's like
Really bizarre.
the little
Yeah.
boy who disappeared. Remember that little boy, 5 years old,
Oh,
whose father went. He went with his father into the desert. Father
it wasn't
went,
the desert. Was it the desert?
yeah,
No.
yeah. It was a desert or
Was it the
something.
desert? Okay.
The
But
father
this
went
is in America, isn't it? Yeah.
over a hill. I don't know why he left. I wouldn't leave a child. I mean, I know there's no one around, but I
No, he
still.
wasn't. No, no. If you remember, the
Mhm.
child was they were in the woods with the
No, no, no,
mum
no,
and the
no, no,
dad.
no, 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 no. Nothing to do with woods. It was the desert. That's why he left the child because there's nobody around, and he was only going over. He was a surveyor or something. He just wanted to go down, fetch something, or set up something, and come back for the boy. So wouldn't be gone for more than 5 minutes or whatever. What I'm trying to say is that even I wouldn't leave my kid. Like, do you understand? I would never leave my kid, even if there's nobody around for 20 miles I can see. So he left the kid, went, lost sight because he went down over a dune, came back up, no kid. Not necessarily worried because you look around, you've got clear sight of vision. Was that what it called? Sight of vision? No,
Clear line of
clear
sight of
line of
everything.
sight. Thank you. Clear, clear sight. Line of sight. So not worried. Just looking under the door, under the. And where's this kid? Kid gone. Absolutely gone. No, and then calls people. Or I think I go back into town, come back with people. They went big manhunt. Eventually, find this boy. They brought what you call it sounds like an urban legend, to be honest. They
Yeah.
brought a Native American tracker who somehow tracked, I don't ask because without footsteps or whatever, without footprints, tracked this boy to a cliff face in the far distance.
It was 7 miles away.
And then they went, I don't know, they climbed up it or whatever. The boy was in
Sheer
some
face. Yeah.
sheer face.
Yeah.
A little 5-year-old boy, by the way, up on this blooming cliff face, up on this cliff in what looked like a nest. How did he
But he
get
was
there?
fit and healthy.
He was fine. Fine, perfectly fine. How did he get several miles and whatever and whatever?
Up and up that sheer face. It doesn't make sense. Yeah, I
Zero
remember
cents,
that story.
411.
411. That's the benefit of now. If you've enjoyed that little snippet, listeners and
Mm.
viewers, then obviously look for one of our past episodes, which is the 411. That was full of crazy stories like that one, which have no resolution and they really are mind blowing. So please go back and look at some of our past episodes along those lines. Okay, we're getting close to the top of the hour, but we've still got time for a couple more. Um, do you know about the sinking house legend?
No, I don't. That's a good one.
Yeah. This house was discovered, or they say is discovered fully intact in the bottom of a river.
No.
That's the legend in Connecticut in America. And
Oh, go on, yes.
legend has it that the house sank into the lake after the owners attempted to move the house across the frozen lake. And it fell through the ice intact, chimney as well, protruding up. And apparently, if you were to dive down there, you'd be able to see the house at the bottom of the lake. Now, I don't have a lot of information on this, whether it is a legend, whether it actually happened, because logistically, I have questions. I mean, number one, why would you move your house? I mean, what's that all about? If it's a house with a chimney, allegedly, I mean, if it's a caravan or something like that, you could, yeah, okay, you can move a caravan. But a house with a chimney? Why on earth would you move it? What's
Mm.
the reason? And how would they move it? Now, granted, if the lake was frozen, how would you get the house onto the lake? What, pulled with horses, maybe? And move it across? For what purpose? Why were they moving the house? Did they want a better, not a beachfront property, effectively? Or a lakeside property. I don't know. They're moving this thing across a frozen lake. Now, did it sink? Could it have sunk? It could have done. I mean, let's be honest, it could have done. But if it had fallen in the lake, would it have fallen flat? Would it have gone on its side? Would it have been tipped up? Could it have broken? What happened to the people? I don't know. This one is a really weird legend. And there's no real way of proving it unless there are people who've actually dived down and found this house on the bottom of the lake. But I don't know. We have very little information other than the story that it's a legend of the sinking house.
I've heard of a similar one, which is actually what I thought you were speaking of,
Bath. Okay.
which is an entire town that is underwater. And what happened was that there was a collapse of a geological feature, possibly side of a mountain or something, which altered the course of a river.
That's happened recently in Switzerland, actually.
Really, this was
Yeah.
not Switzerland. This was not in Switzerland. This was back in America. This was in America, and the the town got flooded, and then it was made worse because there was a dam built further on, and basically the government gave up on that town. So they're just like, you know what, we're going to actually use it to our advantage, and they did.
Oh,
But that meant that that town just drowned. So you can actually take a very creepy and dangerous trip there. It's dangerous because you can get trapped under things like logs and machinery. You
absolutely,
get hooked
absolutely.
and
Yeah.
stuff. But yeah, if you're of a mind to have a bit of an adventure, and then you know what you're doing, and what is muddy and whatnot. But if you do, you find this town that's trapped underneath this body of water. And I have found for our audience, it's called Dynamite Conspiracies: The Missing 411, and we released it on the 23rd of July, 2022. And here's the link for audience members.
Okay, wonderful. We'll share that again if they wanted to listen to that one. Right, we've got one. Did you hear about the legend of the boiling river?
The boiling
The
river.
boiling river.
No.
Right. There's a legend
Hmm.
in the Amazon, they say. Indigenous people have spoken about it, that there's a river so hot that it'll kill anyone that fell into it. And it's actually
Oh,
a river.
yeah, yeah. It's a river. It's near a hot spring or something.
Close, close. This river is known as the Shanai Timpishku, Timpishka,
Yeah,
sorry,
okay, all right. Save us.
in Peru in South America.
Hmm.
And it isn't because it's got hot sauce. Hot sauce? That wasn't meant to be. Imagine somebody in the back with hot jalapeno sauce pouring it in. No, no, that's not what I meant here, folks. No, the source of the heat isn't the source of the river. No, the river actually starts off cold, but where this river is, there is a geothermal activity
Geothermal
underneath the
vent.
river. Yeah.
Hmm.
And scientists have discovered it, and the temperature, although not boiling, is still a rather high 99.1 degrees centigrade or 210.4
Ooh.
degrees Fahrenheit. So
Oh, a bit
just
warm then.
before boiling, yes. And it's not a volcano, it's a vent, a
Hmm.
geothermal vent that is spewing hot whatever into that river, hence making that stretch of the river extremely hot. There's no fish
Wow.
in there because obviously it's too hot. Further down there is, and even the fish and the animals know not to get that close to that area
Hmm.
because it's just not safe. And so what started out as a legend that stories were told by the indigenous people of the Amazon has subsequently turned out to be true, where that geothermal vent has been discovered.
Wow. Yeah, that's amazing. All
That's a
right.
good one. We got to wrap up here, but one quick one left if you've got
Okay, a
time.
quick one was back in 1970. A dead sperm whale washed up on the beach in Florence or Florence, who knows? I think
Florence in Italy.
no, Oregon.
Oh, Florence, Oregon.
But I thought the Italians should have said Florence, but
No,
maybe
it's Florence.
Is it really? That's
Firenze.
boring. Florence. Florence. I'm going to be saying Florence. Sorry, man. Anyway, Florence, Oregon. Local authorities decided the best way to dispose of the rotten eight-ton carcass was to pack it with half a ton of dynamite
Oh,
and blow it up. So somebody thought that was a good idea, and I suppose you might, if you were back in 1970 and we weren't as advanced as we are now in 2025, you might have thought in 1970, well, hey, it'd just be a bit of fun, we pack it up, we blow it up, the seagulls will come in, we'll pick up the pieces, bada boom, bada bing,
Bada boom, bada bing.
As my friend Tony would say, it'll all be sorted out. Yeah, not quite. When when they exploded the dynamite, huge chunks of whale flew high into the sky, high and far. And obviously, you being a scientifically minded fellow, and as I'm sure most of our audience, you realize that what goes up must come down. And when these huge chunks came back down, they were quite hazardous, destroying all sorts of things, including entire cars.
Oh my goodness me.
So not a great success from that point of view, and also because it basically split the whale in two. So
Oh,
not
rather
only
than
did
into
it
pieces, it was
not
just
into pieces, you just got a rather huge, two huge, well, slightly less huge chunks of whale, and you're just finished destroying cars and endangering people's lives. Not a successful operation. And they just left it alone after that, and nature took its course, and they just stank the place out for quite a while, and then
oh,
eventually,
oh
you know.
dear, oh dear.
So you
Oh
don't
well,
blow up,
yeah,
don't
don't
blow
blow
up
up whales.
whales. Oh, by the way, also don't go near whales. In Lagos, I don't know if it killed anybody, but I think it might have. A whale. Oh yeah, I didn't. A whale washed up, and look, man, this is Africa. Okay, we're hungry. We don't take pictures of the thing and talk about. Oh, shall we have dynamite? No, you bring a bowl and a knife, and you get yourself some free calories.
Food.
But
Yeah.
one particular one, not that one I was thinking about. That was in Bar Beach, I believe, in Lagos. There was another one where it was expanding, and they didn't know about gases, and then it expanded. You know when a carcass
Yeah.
is expanding. I don't know why Nigerians would know this. I thought they would. It expanded, 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 and then it exploded.
Yeah.
And when you say an explosion, it's a proper
That's a
explosion.
proper explosion.
Yeah.
Indeed, indeed. Right, unfortunately, we got to the end of the show there. If you've loved this episode, please hit subscribe and stay tuned for more deep dives into prophecies, mysteries, and the unexpected twists of fate. You've listened to Tony and Tyre, and we are the TNT Talk Show, but unfortunately, we have reached the end of the show for another week.